What is up, guys? Alex from First Figures.
Hi there, guys. This is Chuckles.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
The star of the show.
We have, this time, the King of Red Lions, Link on the King of Red Lions.
Exactly. I know you guys have been waiting for this for a long time.
And you know, we're so happy to finally be able to put him up for pre-order, finally get the show on the road. The next in the Zelda series is one of our strongest franchises. Love this series. And you know, we both know that the fans in the Collectors Club have been incredibly passionate about having the next piece
Every single day.
And now we're really happy to be able to finally put them up for pre-order. Now, I was quite adamant that I wanted to wait for us to get a little bit further down the line with the next in the series, in order, before we actually put Link on the King of Red Lions into pre-order, because I didn't want there to be big Link on the King of Red Lions and then such a long gap before the next one. So I'm happy to say the next one in the series is sort of, you know, going into the next sort of stages, and you know, more on that when it's time. But
for now,
we've been sitting on
just concentrate on this.
Yeah, we've been sitting on Link for like 3-4 months. We could have gone for pre-orders, but we wanted to just time that out a little bit. Despite almost having a riot on our hands in the Collectors Club, because every day
plus
plus
it gave us more time to, you know, fine tune.
Yeah, fine tuning, all that sort of stuff, and some tweaks here and tweaks there, and you know, happy to finally be able to. We're very happy to present it, basically.
That's right.
So, you know, without further ado, shall we take some questions, and that should probably help.
Questions already?
Yeah, I think the questions will help. Because I've had a preview of some of the questions, and it will help sort of discuss about, you know, the designing and that sort of process.
Okay, guys. Okay, so how do you pronounce this one? First guy.
Benedict Strelli.
Strelli?
One of those. So Benedict, this is, you know, just for new viewers, we have a collectors club that is it's a Facebook group. And in there we invited some people to basically give some questions, invited them to have those questions that we will discuss it in this video here. So the first one is from a Benedict Strehler, I believe, and that will help sort of...
Okay. And don't forget, at the end of the questions there'll be some shout-outs as well.
There will be shout-outs.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead. The first question was, what problems did we have when designing, sculpting, printing the statue of the King of the Red Lions?
So that's quite interesting. When we were designing him, it was actually quite. It was trying to get the blend between the sort of realism that we're sort of known for in a physical model, and taking that 3D model and the 3D the world of the King of Red Lions, you know, of Wind Waker, in order to apply it into the physical world, to try and get that unique balance. And you can see, for example, we had to take some liberties with trying to create a sort of realistic but cartoony effect for the waves. And once we get some close-up shots of this, we've actually actively put some bubbles in there.
Yes.
You can see it. We'll get some video shots of that later, where the bubbles in there give it the sort of sense of water, you know, how water has that sort of movement in the water as well. And when we sort of show the exclusive as well, we can see that as well. The other difficulty was to it was actually quite the difficulty that we found was certainly when it was around about the time when we had the original GameCube version, of course, when Wind Waker came out, and understanding the differences between that and the HD version. Yeah, absolutely. And those differences led to quite a lot of subtle changes, and unless you're really looking for it, sometimes you see some references that are done in a certain way, and another that are done in a completely different. So it was trying to balance both of those in order to incorporate it all together into one package that sort of incorporated both the GameCube version and the HD version as well. So that was one of the challenges for sure. Should we give them a spin while we're doing that?
Start talking, Okay.
Yeah. Give that so you can now sort of get an idea of the scale and the size.
That's right. That's one of the next questions. Do we have? Well, let's talk about this one first, scale-wise.
Well, we should actually see if we can get it. If we do this the other way around, will he?
Oh, no, scale. Well, I mean, obviously we've got scales.
Go this way around.
Oh, I forgot about that function.
There you
We
go.
can go the other way.
So what was the?
You were going to talk about scales, right?
Oh right. Well,
Or
okay.
would that be the, well,
We could
pretty much-
come back to that another time. What was the? We do that at the end because we're going to bring out some scale stuff for that.
Yeah, okay, then
Yeah.
we'll leave that for now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question was, how long did the process take to make this statue before tonight's filming?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we had this approved a long time ago. Could have gone to pre-order and filming much sooner, but we chose to, as I
This
said,
is way before my time, so
yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah.
right. No, you've been with us for coming up to 3 months now,
up to 3 months now, yes.
and yeah, this was already. In fact, I recall this actually being ready in sort of January time. It was at the physical stage. We were sort of
Right.
painting it and doing all of that sort of stuff then. The process at 3D was probably about a month, and then we put it through the Nintendo approval process, which can take quite a long time. It depends, sometimes fast, sometimes not so fast.
Yeah.
And then sort of moving forwards, it was going through the paint process and back and forths and tweaks and what have you. So overall, I would say, give or take, 4 to 5 months of work there, allowing for approval times, allowing for the multiple paint changes and the tweaks that we made to it, etc. So yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Cool. So okay, the next one from Benedict as well. So what did you know that had to be implemented in this statue?
So yes, I mean, again, going back to all the subtle changes, I mean, because people, initially when people played the game, when it first came out and they first showed it off, there was a lot of, oh my god, it's so simple, it's so simplistic. It's actually quite a lot of detail that you can actually implement and put into the statue itself.
Yeah.
So, for example, if we spin this around, there's a lot of sort of subtle details that we have in here. We have some swirl marks just on the back of the on the neck. That was sort of added, and we had the trapdoor where the mast comes out.
That's right, yes.
Adding the detail going on over here, and there was sort of research we did to sort of look at the master sword and make sure how the sheath worked, and along with the shield. All those sort of things were things that definitely had to be taken into consideration. I wanted to make sure that we also got the sail in and made it with fabric. That was important for us to do that in order to be able to create this sort of billowing effect where the wind is clearly pushing onto it, and to create that sort of you can maybe get it from over here. That sort of B.
Yeah.
B shape, so you can have the wind that's sort of really blowing into it.
Well, it actually complements with the waves as well, because
Absolutely.
it would make sense to unless it was slowing down where the actual
You got it
sail,
absolutely right.
Yeah.
So it's all about the sense of motion, the forward momentum, and it's important that when you're, not that I know too much about sailing and not that I've done it myself personally, but the principle is that the wind is coming across, but you're sailing at a different angle. So I didn't want it to be completely outwards. So what would if we had it completely outwards? If we do it from this angle, so this is how it is. You can see it already sort of comes a little bit over the edge of the. If I just turn off this, right here, you can see from here to here. It comes out a little bit here. Now I'm quite a big fan of balance, but you had to really take that into account with a statue like this. I couldn't have something on this side. Obviously, it made sense for there's only one sail. It's not like there's two sails. So with only the one sail, I didn't want to have it completely out to the side, because that would lead to a huge foot space and a massive amount of negative space on the right side as well.
That's
So
right,
the left side, all masts, all sail, nothing on the right side, wouldn't quite match. So I try to keep it not directly straight on, so it would be perfectly balanced on either side. I didn't want that because that didn't make sense, because you can't sail a boat like that. A boat, it must be, if you're going in this direction, the wind must be doing something in order for it to go forward. You couldn't have the mast straight going backwards, it just wouldn't work. So that was, that had to be implemented in the way, and to take into consideration all the small subtle details like that. And something else that having, because this is how to say it? There are some future things that I want to do to this, having had the chance to sit there and study it.
Right.
What we've been doing now, as you know, we've been looking at this in the office for a couple of weeks now.
That's right.
That since I've had a chance to really look at it more, is one of the subtle things I've got here is there's the rudder.
That's right.
Now, right now, I have the rudder going below the waterline. So right now you see it looks flush from here, but actually when you see it, it very, very slightly goes below the water level. And what I want to do is actually to make it go just a little bit more. So when you look at it from the side, you can definitely see it goes below the water level, but I want it to go just that little bit further. And that's a little bit of added details.
Touch.
Yeah.
Just give it
Nice little touch.
Just give it a little bit more depth.
A little more depth.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something that we will add to that when we go into the production stage, and we'll keep everyone sort of
So would
focused
you
on
say
that.
this is a counter sample?
Yeah, I mean, this is the factory. Look, the factory made this, and it is very, very close to our original prototype. But even onwards from there,
There are still some changes.
Always
to be done,
tweaks that we can do. We just try that little bit extra, and we are a very receptive of fan feedback. So not that I'm not saying
Yeah.
within reason, of course,
Yeah.
with taking all the things into account. We
Definitely made some big changes anyway after recent feedback.
Right.
Obviously, I'm sure you guys would have spotted it by now.
So yeah, I mean, we talked about Link, and we've made him brighter. Initial comments was that we should have him a bit more bright, so we actually took that previous Link and made him just a little bit more bright, and I think it's come up fantastic. So hopefully you guys agree as well. So yeah, I mean these, and the other thing about we're talking about the sort of sense of motion. When you guys, why is it not doing
Right.
it? Why is it not working now?
You've broken it.
There you go. So the other thing about the sense of motion that I knew I wanted to implement was, yes, you had the sails doing that B shape. Yes, you had the water opening up like that, parting like that. But I think with the exclusive version, which we'll show you guys later, of course, is we have incorporated a sense of motion in that as well, and that is when you put them all together, it flows together, and we have this sort of movement of the. In fact, we just try and put that on there. We'll do it when the lights are.
It's better
off,
when the lights are off.
Yeah, sure. And we'll sort of focus in on that. And you can actually see the movement of it moving. So just knew I had to have that in there.
Excellent. Okay, moving on. Did you have any initial plans for it, and then found out it was impossible to realise?
No.
No?
No. I mean, the only thing that's impossible is if you settle for less. And as I said, there are still improvements that we can and will do to this.
Yeah, there is.
And as I said, one example is the rudder, just to add a little extra bit of touch. So in terms of, I'm very happy with how this came out.
Cool. So apart from this, are there any more Wind Waker statues planned in the future?
So, right now we are concentrating on, obviously getting this one out, and with the launch of Breath of the Wild next year, our focus is sort of turning towards that. Because of that, it's just looking absolutely stunning as well.
That's
so,
right, yes.
Whilst I would say right now, future Wind Waker stuff is definitely on our radar and definitely been penciled in. We are not further. This is where we're at for the moment for this. At the moment,
I mean, if you guys want more, just let us know.
Yeah, do let us know whether or not you're interested. Would you like to see
It's one of
that?
my favourite games, so obviously I want more as well. But yeah, all right. Yeah.
Well, if you want more, then that's all I need to hear.
Yeah, cool. All right then. So okay, moving on. Thanks, Benedict. So Chris Miller.
Yo, Chris.
What is the sail made of?
So when we first did the sail, if you look when people see this video, because they're going to be seeing this video before the pre-orders actually go live, they'll see there's some differences between the pictures and this item itself. And one of the differences is actually we went for double layers of the cloth. If you look at the pictures,
yes,
the cloth is actually only one side, and it's a bit.
The pattern is on one side.
The pattern is on one side, and it's sort of ripped off at the bottom. It's almost like. That's one of the things that I wanted to change, and this is why we've changed it. But basically, I wanted there to be cloth on both sides and the pattern on both sides to give it that bit more quality. Because if you look at the video, you'll see the differences. Sorry, if you look at the pre-order pictures, you'll see there are some differences.
And it would make sense to have it on both sides, because looking at this statue from all the angles,
I don't want it to look good only from the front.
Only from one side, basically, yeah, or from the front.
Right. So we wanted to avoid that, and so that's as a clear example of one of the improvements we've made, adding all the paint touches.
Having cloth material as well, just gives it.
Oh, we originally had cloth material. I mean, that was definitely the plan in the first place, because it was important to be able to add the wire to create that B shape, and you couldn't do that. And
gives it that authentic look as well.
Authentic look, and again, it's all about the mixture between cartoon that you see on the screen versus the realism of a statue. Because obviously it's physical, it's tangible, it's right there. Yeah. And adding all of that to make the overall piece. What parts do you use from the physical world in order to recreate something that was always in the digital world? So that's always about that sort of balance.
Excellent. Cool. Thanks a lot, Chris. Okay, moving along. Chuck Temple. That's right. While every Zelda game has its own unique art style, especially in regards to the Wind Waker being cel-shaded, were there any characteristics of King of Redline that were difficult to capture through polystone because of this?
Well, again, this is touching up on. I wouldn't say it's particularly polystone or what the material would be. It's again this whole blend of trying to capture that cel shade look versus the realism, and because in the cel shaded look, you see when Link goes onto the water and the sun's really it's at the middle of the day, and it's really sort of hard light on him. It casts these sort of hard line shadows.
Yeah. It even makes Link or even Redline itself really even brighter as well.
Right. And of course when he goes into the shade, it changes colours as well. So it was trying to incorporate that idea, but have it in a way that, of course, you don't have cel-shaded lines drawing on a physical statue for this style. But
doesn't mean we're not going to do cel-shaded. I mean, it's one particular style that we could incorporate in later statues or later.
Sure, but it was pretty tricky just to try and get that right blend again. And I think this is sort of after a lot of time of developing and back and forth. Definitely. So it was very challenging to do it, just to get that sort of, because it's much easier with something like Twilight Princess, where they've gone for that realistic look. Yeah. You just go for the extra realistic, and that's what we do, and that's quite normal. Cel shaded, it's how do you do it in a way so you try to avoid. It's really important when you're going for something like this to try and avoid for it to making it just look like an oversized toy. That's the key. I mean, that's sort of what. Now that I'm talking about it, it's what is it that we've got to try and avoid? How do we do it in a way that it doesn't come out looking like a toy? And hopefully you agree that this is not looking like a toy.
Definitely not. Okay, thanks. Okay, Steve O'Reilly, did you decide to make this statue when you first decided to make Wind Waker statues? Is that why Ganondorf is in the scale he is now?
I'd like to come back to that question, because we're going to talk a bit about the scale.
That's right. Let's just leave scale.
Yeah, because I know there was one from Benedict and one from Steve, so we'll come back to that one.
Okay, sure.
Definitely.
Okay then. Last but not least, Alessio Bucci. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. So basically, could you show us some renders in Zbrush?
Sure.
Could we post that in the club?
We can post that in the club. We can do all of that, and we will see if we can do through the power of.
Yeah, because every time, up until now, all the majority of the teasers are kind of mainly, I don't know, we have shown some ZBrush stuff.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, if we can figure out how to do it through the power of film editing, we can start trying to add some in here. perhaps even over this picture. So we can see if we can figure that
back
out.
to fine-tuning.
So yes, we will show you the redness in Zbrush.
Okay.
You'd like to know. So
the next question.
yeah,
he likes to know how many hours of work we put into sculpting this, and how many pieces we will need to assemble this piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And whether or not
Did Nintendo ask for it, or did we just come up with it?
right. Yeah. So actually, that goes to
Yeah.
Steve's first question. Steve's first question: did you decide to make the statue when you first decided
Oh
to
no,
do?
no. That's the one about the scale.
No, that's his first question, and the second question is about the scale.
Oh, right.
So if
Okay,
you talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
if you talk about
Two questions.
Yeah, it's two
sorry,
questions.
I didn't see the question mark there.
Yeah. So did Nintendo ask for this, or did you choose it, or did you choose it, and all that sort of stuff? Well, the way it really works with the licensing is, we usually suggest what we really want to make,
Yeah.
and Nintendo will usually say, yes, that's fine, or no, it's not, and you won't believe the list of stuff that has been swept under the table, but this one was definitely mutually agreed with Nintendo. We sort of came up with the concepts and sort of went through it with them, and they were like, "This is looking awesome."
How did you decide?
So
which concept?
right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was Steve was saying, did you decide when you first? Well, yeah, sure. Doing Wind Waker statues, you can't not do this. There have been other versions of Toon Link that are in the marketplace, all that sort of stuff, and that's fine.
But there's never been an official piece of the Red Line.
No, I believe there is
There
one,
is?
like a small playset from Jack's. I believe,
right.
But you know, it's iconic. If you're going to do something Wind Waker, sure I can make a Link, sure I could do a Zelda, etc., etc. But it's like Skyward Sword. Am I really going to do a Link without his Loftwing? Am I really going to do a Link without Epona? Am I really going to do a Link without the King of Red Lions? You know, absolutely. It's when you're talking about the iconic games, it's really. I definitely always consider that, and it was always going to be part of my part of the plan to do a Link on something, because it's just
It makes sense.
it's sort of the iconic piece from that line. If that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because you know,
makes sense, yeah. You can't have it. You just can't have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, he also asked how many hours of work it took to sculpt it, etc., etc. Well, again, it's really hard. It's not just simply sculpting it; it's also the researching and all that sort of time. And it
probably takes more time.
I don't have
I didn't have a. Probably take more time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't have a stopwatch, and I didn't sort of do that. And Sculptor didn't have a stopwatch, all that sort of stuff. But I'm very much of the mentality: it's ready when it's ready. It took a long time. You know, there was a good sort of month of back and forth, at least, on just the sculpting work. Change this, change that, and we're talking quite daily sort of changes and tweak this, tweak that, and that was pretty intense. But hopefully, it was well worth it.
Yeah, cool. So, how many pieces does it take to assemble this?
So, at the moment, where we're at is, why don't you go through that? You know, you're the one who assembled it.
I don't want to.
No, we don't
disassemble it.
disassemble it. You can at least point out
basically, I mean, obviously, the King of Red Lions will be attached to the base, straight out of the box, and then Link himself will be one single piece, and then the sword and the shield will be another piece.
They're connected.
They're connected, on the back, and then the sail, well, it goes from here to here as another extra piece. So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Done. No messing about.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Phase.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, this comes attached.
Yeah. So you're gonna need to. It will come flat.
It will come flat. Yes.
In the pack. Which reminds me, we get the box next time.
Next time.
Yeah. For the live stream.
It's not a small box.
It's not a small box. It comes in a pretty big box for sure. So why don't we have a quick talk about the size and the scale? Okay.
No shout outs?
Oh, we can give a shout out. You want to give a shout outs now, or do you want to give it? Should we give a shout out now?
When you want to do some shout outs?
Okay, yeah, sure, let's
So
do
we
it
do
now.
5 now, and then do a bit of scale, and then another 5.
Yeah, do you want to scroll that up?
Okay,
Scroll
yeah,
up a
sure.
bit. How
Okay.
we got some more. Okay, yeah, cool.
Go. There you go.
Sean Sanders, what's up? Zach Bound, boom, 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 shout out.
I love this bit.
Cassidy Wayne genre,
That's right.
bada bing, bada boom.
Right. That's 3 different effects.
Matthew the Law
That's it.
Sharp. Now, Matt is our resident admin in the
right.
Collectors Club, and he is
A massive Metroid fan.
massive Metroid fan, but a fantastic sort of moderator in
He's
terms
great.
of keeping everything running smoothly at the Collectors Club. So shout out to you, Matthew. Thank you very much for your
Thank you
support
for-
there. It is really, really appreciated, and you know, shout out, big it up. We've got a now. This was a back and
Yeah.
forth one, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm going for Jorge, Loyo.
Well, we can definitely confirm Loyo is right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing right. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
But hopefully we haven't got that wrong. But you might be going for Jorg.
Jorg. But I don't know.
Jorg, Jorge, Hoge, Jorge,
Jorge.
or Jorg. What's up? I think we might as well go through all of them.
That's right. Yeah. Just be on the safe side.
Absolutely. Scott Glass, what's up? Shout out. Megan Aslaxon. Aslaxon. Aslaxon.
Yeah.
Yep.
That seems to flow.
David Kurt. Now, David is another one of our mods,
That's right.
and he is, you know,
Big
a
fan of
He's very knowledgeable, very
Yeah.
knowledgeable, and he's actually quite a fan of all the sort of stuff and all the different lines. And
recently Mega Man.
yes, yeah, for sure, and just all round very knowledgeable about the industry in general. So shout out. Chris Miller, our resident for scale, banana for scale, he's our resident comedian.
Yes.
He's a resident comedian.
Bananas here, bananas
What's up? I
there.
look forward to your videos and pictures and stuff. When hopefully you'll pick up King of Red Lions as well, and see what you can do for that. And we've got Richard Yafai.
That's right.
Shout out. Done.
You just went through all the entire list.
Went through all the went through the entire list.
The entire list.
Now we can talk a bit about the scale, the size, all that sort of good stuff. Okay? So, let's have a conversation about
Scale.
the scale.
So we can answer the previous questions from Steve and Chris.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, we have, let's bust out Wind Waker, Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start off with the. Ooh.
He's a big boy, isn't he? He's quite heavy.
He's very heavy.
So put him over there, see if this is going to be okay.
Have we stopped? Can we stop this?
Yeah. There you go.
How many of you have got this in your collection?
That is no. Sure, this one is.
Oh, is it on?
Thank you very much.
There you go. Sorry.
So if we turn.
Like that?
Yeah.
Facing inwards?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Now, this is the size. If we sort of push, he's a little bit far forward, so if we actually push this up like that, we have a sort of better idea of the scale. No.
Oh, sorry,
You want to bring him back because otherwise he looks. If we bring it back into the same line, yeah, sort of like
Is that
that.
the same?
Yeah. So, one of the questions is whether or not we were to do, whether or not Link is to scale to Ganondorf was one of the questions when we first announced King of Red Lions, and you can actually see that he's not. Link is actually bigger than the size of Ganondorf. Now, for those who have Ganondorf, they can sort of see the size of what he is. Now, I actually was quite. This is such a lovely piece. To make it smaller would bring it too close to being a toy for me. And one of the things that I focused on was this Link On series. So we have the Link On Epona from the Twilight Princess and the Link On Loftwing and the Skyward Sword. I knew this was going to be part of the Link On. Now this goes really well with that Link On series.
That's right, yes.
This Ganondorf I knew was so perfectly scaled to the amiibo that when the Toon Link amiibo that when you put them together and you see the size of what a 2-scale Link would be next to Ganondorf, you would find that it would have made this whole thing 30-40% smaller. And that's something I really wanted to avoid. So I believe we have one for scale.
Yeah. Ooh, there you go.
So yeah, that you have.
Here we go.
Exactly. So you can see the size of Link. He comes to the sort of, if he wasn't on the base, he would come into the sort of top of sort of Ganondorf's here, which is about the same as what he's in the game.
That's right, yes.
And you do, as you know, he smacks the Master Sword into his forehead at the end, etc. Oh, spoiler! And turns Ganondorf into stone. That would show you a 2-scale Link. Now, if you put that next to this, you can now appreciate how small the King of Red Lions would be. And that is something that the overall size would be had we absolutely kept it exactly in scale. And for me, I felt that that would be too distracting when you put them in the collection of Link on characters. So that's where we're at for that scale. So why don't we compare this to something in the Link On series? Okay, so if we just leave that.
I have one question.
Yes.
So now this is in the Link On series. How about the actual Wind Waker series? Would we consider making a smaller Link?
Well, so this is what we were talking about, yeah. And it would be definitely, it's definitely been penciled in. I wouldn't want to make something that was just simply just one Link, because you can see the size of it.
Yeah.
If it was going to be to scale, right?
But it allows, if people don't want to collect the Link On series, they just solely want to collect the Wind Waker series.
Sure.
It'd be nice for them to
absolutely right
carry on with the series.
What I would definitely not do is just do a single Link. It would be with Zelda or something like that, because it would put them together. Because they're so small, it would be almost.
Keep your fingers crossed, guys.
Maybe I've said to you.
I'm trying to
make sure. I know.
Make sure we make a link for these.
Absolutely,
guys.
absolutely. I know, absolutely. You always got the best interest at heart. Why don't you put
this
onto one side there?
Okay. I'll put it here,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so you can see all three of them.
I'll put that over here, and put that.
Put that. Might as well put that one.
Yep.
Put it back where it was.
Oi.
Be careful with that.
Oh, wrong way. Yeah, I don't want to take out. So put that.
Gotta hold this down.
Yeah.
It's poking his head.
And number one, Link on Epona. Most people don't believe this.
Nothing's gonna fall off, right?
001. We have here.
Wow, it looks amazing from behind.
Well, as I said, with all our statues, it's important that they look good from all angles, and that's important. So, when you compare these guys in the same series, I think you guys will agree that the Link on, if we just actually
the Link On series, yeah.
If we turn that on, it's going to take that out.
Don't worry, I've got this.
You'll see that they match more in terms of the size and the scale, rather than making, again, a very, very, very small Link. Based on the same size as the King of Red Lions. So actively, I started saying, right, it needs to be the same sort of size as Link on Epona, Link on Lothwing, Link on King of Red Lions. And who knows, there may or may not
there will be
future in the Link On series. So that's again, it's all
good.
part of the.
It's nice. Link on something. Link on something.
And again, it's always iconic from the games. So that's something that's really. So hopefully that answers the scale question. Why we decided to do it in the scale that we have done it at. The thought processes behind developing a statue. All that sort of stuff to help give you an insight of what goes on here at First Figures. Hopefully you guys agree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know in the Collectors Club. It's really important that we always hear all the feedback. It helps us improve. It helps push us to be the best that we can possibly be. So yeah, that's where we're at now. For those at home that are now wanting to know sort of what is the size, what's the scale, so they can prepare that special. They decided they want to get it. They want to find that special place in their collection in order to put him there. Should we do a bit of a size?
Yep.
Size?
Shall we move these out of the way first?
Yeah, sure.
Stop that.
Stop that.
No.
Okay, shall we do the... What should we do first?
What do we do first? We normally do the can.
No,
test
that's
first,
at the
don't
end. I think we do the measurements.
we? Measurements?
Measurements.
Okay.
Let's bust out the measurements.
Yep. Okay, shall we do height first?
After you.
Okay. From the bottom of the base to the tip of the sail.
For
I need
miles.
to stand up here.
Yeah, you need to set up.
It's slightly under 25 inches.
Can we have that in CM as well, please, for our
CM?
European
Okay.
European family?
Around 63, 64.
That is tall.
Tall.
Tall. Excellent.
So, ooh, this is going to be tough.
So we should consider the absolute depth in terms of from the front to this area. This area here would be the
Yeah.
film.
So let me do this one. So from the front of the head, so around 21 inches.
CM?
53, 54.
Okay, now actually do it so like it's swinging around, so you move it so the actual depth, because you need to consider that the a cabinet would be like that shape, not that shape. So move it, swing it so exactly like that. So if this is the bottom here, and to the front of that, so we're looking at that.
I'm guessing around about 19 inches.
19 inches, yeah? Yeah, 19 inches, yeah.
48 centimeters.
Cool, because we don't. No, obviously that's longer
Obviously,
than
that's
that would
gonna
be
be
longer,
longer, yeah.
because it's of the hypotenuse. So yeah, and now we need to think about the depth, and the depth needs to come out from here because the space, and that's why I was talking about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I made the sail and brought it all the way out like that? Just the amount of space that you would need to actually put it out because of the thing. So
Exactly.
this is probably where the end of the sail is.
Okay, so I'm going to do this here, like so, right to the edge. So it's around 13 inches, which is about 33 centimeters.
Okay. Did you guys get that? Let us know where you would put your King of Red Lions for that size, and let us see where they would go.
Yeah, interesting places.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Now it's time to do the can test.
Yeah. Okay. To scale. There you go. Can scale.
For the next series.
So, what's the size of this?
See, Chuckles is always falling asleep and he needs to have his can of Coke, but so he's
right.
only allowed to have one can a day, so...
One big can a day.
One can a day.
So,
that we keep that there, and I'll do my normal size Coke cans. This is a 330.
This is big boy's drink.
We have one here.
Look at that. This is a genuine Coca-Cola can, and it has a crown.
Perfect. This one is a bow tie. This one is a crown for the King of Red Lions. And I'm going to have to hold this because it's going to go high up. So we have...
Oh, careful.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 1, 2, 3, 5? Is that enough? No, it's not.
No.
And here's one I had earlier. Now, can I do this so it doesn't actually fall down? The leaning tower. Here we go.
Don't touch
1,
anything.
2, 3, 4, 5, and a half?
5.5, pretty much, yes.
Bring that down now.
Is that the tallest statue so far.
So far. Although it's a little bit like, you know, when the world's tallest building has the world's longest antenna on top of it.
Right,
it's a little bit
true,
cheeky
yeah.
like that, but you know, just overall in terms of actually having to use the sort of space for your collection, you need to consider that. Of course, it's not the widest. That would have been Link on Red Lion. That is just ginormous.
Red Lion. Oh,
Lawful.
teaser.
No, this is the Link on Red Lion. I mean, Link on
The other Red Lion.
The other one on Link on Offering. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. There is a lot of time, effort. It's gone into this, and
Yes.
we're really, really happy now to be able to finally be able to sort of show it to you guys. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm desperately waiting for the launch.
The feedback.
The feedback. Comments.
What we should do is, you know, do some night shots of the
exclusive lights.
The exclusive lights, because we haven't really had a chance to really sort of look at that and see it from this angle. And why don't we run that now? So as we talk about it, you'll be able to see the video on top of it right now. So what I would say is you'll see that the lights go in a motion. There are, I think, is it 6 on either side? These LEDs, so they go forward to back, and then all fade out. And then it does it in a sequential order in order to give it that forward momentum. And at night, it looks really, really awesome. As you can imagine, obviously right now.
It's moving at a slow pace, right? So
it's
a nice
having,
cruise speed.
He's having a nice cruise speed, and you know that helps with the way that Link is looking. He's looking into the distance, and he's going forwards, and he's going.
That's why he's looking at one particular angle.
Looking at one particular angle, right? So he's got to be able to see out from the side.
That's right.
From the mast.
There you go. You can see.
Right. So we should, once we've finished this video, we should add the video. I mean, you know, we'll add some footage as well. Some additional footage.
It's night time right now, so we just have to switch everything off and then turn the lights on. And
absolutely. Great. Well, look, guys, we definitely want to thank you for joining us today, watching this video, and we hope we will see you in our Collectors Club on Facebook, and you know, just to hear your feedback and your opinions, and you know, just to come and say hi. So, you know, peace out.
all right, thank you.